Hello, beautiful human. Welcome to this new Earth energy update. I will be talking to you about the upcoming month, which feels I call it a quantum month because it really feels chaotic and at the same time full of potential. Remember that the energies are fluent, they're cyclical, which means that even though I will be referring to this month as August 2024, if this video finds you at some other time, this is probably when it's most relevant for you. So listen in, don't let the date confuse you about the message. Now let's get into the message. Let's start with where you may be finding yourself and see if this resonates. I'm recording this at the end of July 2024. What I'm sensing that for many of people, they've drawn conclusions, they've drawn some endings to many different parts and areas in their life. This may be you've given your last day notice, maybe you're still at the job, but you know, okay, I'm going to be moving to something else. Maybe you've moved your physical locations, your homes. Maybe you ended some relationships. You've drawn some boundaries with people. So maybe those people are still in your life, but not to the degree where they have used to be, right? They're a little bit further. You've drawn boundaries. So in any way, you sense that you've made a lot of completions up until this moment. And those completions may be also very much internal. Sometimes the physical reality takes time for it to catch up, right? But the internal changes take place first. So maybe those conclusions and completions are right now happening internally for you, and they are just about to manifest in the external world. But I do sense that a lot of people are in this state of like they already can see the change. And I think that when we're tuning in into the upcoming month, we don't really know what life is going to bring us. It feels maybe disorienting, maybe a little bit scary, because on one hand, you've sort of like ended some things, but how to bring in the new into your life, you don't know. And really, if you logically think about it, if you try to plan it, you get into even a greater state of disempowerment and maybe even fear, because logically this feels unattainable. Because I think somewhere in July you've already connected and remembered some of your dreams, some things that were really important for you that maybe you've put back on them, kind of like on a back shelf, and maybe you've even forgot it about them, and then you started to focus on something else, and now in July you started to remember, oh my god, this is what's really important for me, this what really lights up my heart. And so this gap that we want to bridge between where I am right now and where I want to be seems huge, seems unattainable. And that's the bridge that we're building in August. That's what I sense. Like um it's like a space between two completely different lives. And how do you build that bridge? Do you have the resources, right? How do you make it happen? It's completely a huge, big question mark, I think, which, like I said before, can bring us to the state of disempowerment, of the state of lostness. So those are the important things. Let me know if this resonates, if this is where you find in yourself. And of course, listen to my previous video, because I've already started to unpack those things where we are touching on intergenerational, inner child healing, and of course, past life. So all of those things are kind of starting to come, and where we're changing our identity. Basically, that's what we're talking about, because this two different lives, they actually have two different people. You are as two different people. So now let's get into what's sort of like holding for us in the future, and how to best go about this time that is, I have to say, I won't really tell you anything super specific which your mind may feel like, oh, disappointed, like tell me exactly what I need to do. Well, I'll tell you some advice, but it won't be maybe to the degree that you want to have sort of like a recipe. So a quantum month, right? What I'm sensing, a quantum month, and what do I mean by this? Let's remember, and this is what we really need to train our mind, because our mind is very linear, right? At least what we've trained ourselves to be so far. This what the matrix trains ourselves is very linear. So we see things a particular way, we experience them a particular way, and they are like, this is it, right? We're very boxed in into our experiences of the past, which basically create our future. But if we look back into some really deep core mathematics, you know, I'm a mathematician by training, so that's one of the things that I love to refer to, is the inconsistency theory by Kurt Gödel, which is high level of mathematics, high level of logic, where he proves sometime in 1920s, I believe, or even before then, he proves that nothing is provable. There is a proof that nothing is provable, a paradox. And this is what I'm bringing to you. We need to train our mind, that is all very attached to our experiences, to live in a state of paradox, to be open to the paradox of this reality. How this paradox is playing out, the greatest example is you will die and you will never die. And those two are truths, but on different levels of experience, right? And this is what it is. So I can speak more about Gödel's inconsistency theory if this is something you like. I want to get a little bit more into the philosophical component on a other video. Let me know if this is something that you want to do. But for now, let's bring this wisdom into this current times and experiences that we're going through. Right is wrong, left is right, up is down. Be open to that. Be open to the state of, I don't know. I don't know if this is true. I don't know if this is impossible. I don't know if this is unattainable. Something like this, right? So like get yourself, I call it get yourself lost. Get yourself lost. Allow the mind to disattach from one specific way. This is also where you want to disattach from one specific belief system, one specific, this kind of radical way of looking at things. And maybe you are already very flexible in your mind, but there are areas in your life where you experience challenges, and this is exactly where your mind is still stiff. So if you need to get this, like a nose for where you need to look for, where you still have room to grow, look for where you have some emotional challenges. This is where you are still stuck to one side, right? You're not allowing this full spectrum of the experiences. You're not allowing yourself to be more flexible in the perception. So the advice for July, or for August, or for this upcoming month, whenever you're listening to this, is one, get yourself lost. Get yourself lost. Start forgetting some things that maybe you were so attached to. Start questioning yourself and really see how the external world shows you that, like it points on those things. It points that maybe not. Maybe what you always thought is true, maybe it's not. Right? So get yourself in this area of big unknown, right? Of big unknown is also where there is possibility, right? And that's what the state of quantum is. Quantum field is where everything is. Everything, right? Uh, the cat is dead and the cat is alive. But something is manifested or unmanifested. So it is there, but it's either in a manifested form or unmanifested form. And that's becoming already like a kind of a cliche thing to say, but it really is. So your dreams, those things, right? Like that, what's on the other side of this huge gap is it exists in the unmanifested form. So you want to get yourself into the state of like, okay, okay, maybe it's possible. Maybe something is there, like starting to question yourself and what you think is, or who you think are, and what you think you're capable of. All of those things, start to question that, because what you want on the other side is possible. It's in the quantum field. I will record another video about your mission because it's really important. Because this month we really need to hone into, first of all, identify our core frequency. And our core frequency is our mission. It's not our career, it's not our whatever, household, family, etc. It's our core frequency, and how we can more and more and more through life embody that core frequency and live it through every little breath of our life. So understanding that core frequency and living and experiencing your life through that frequency. Like I said, I will record the video about this, and I will refer to it as reference this video in this video. But it's really important. It's that, like, every breath, the more you can take in from that state of that frequency of that your unique self, seeing everything, experiencing all of your reality through your mission, and then everything else aligns. Everything else comes, because your dreams are extension of your mission. They are expression of your mission, and they are this kind of combination of your core frequency and your background and your experience in this life and other lifetimes. And that you can already mold into something physical, right? But you want to be in your channel, which is your frequency. I won't go into it right now, even though I'm tempted. I'll make another video about this. So that's another advice of finding it, understanding it for yourself, and experiencing your reality and training your mind to experience everything through that core frequency. So for example, your core frequency can be you are in awe, like you're in awe to this creation. Of course, all of the missions, they are aligned to love, but they have different flavors, and your flavor is very unique, and that's really important to identify. Now, something that's, again, very obvious, but how often do we do it? So check on yourself, is to get really close and intimate with nature and with earth. And that probably goes beyond than just like taking walks. It's getting yourself dirty. It's getting yourself immersed in it. She will help you remember. She will help you take off all of those layers of forgetfulness that you still carry. So she will just help you, like, oh, just remember, and will bring you to this field of possibility, because she is your resource. She is your main resource, because what we can see for this theme in August, I think many people are experiencing, is this kind of like, how do I physically bring into the manifestation my dreams, my mission? And that means, how do I support it financially, or how do I support myself financially doing what I love, right? And then where do I get the resources? She is your main resource. She is our resource. All of the resources that we receive somewhere else, in a more remote world from the earth, are still resources recycled from the earth. So she's still your answer. We need to go back to her. So getting very intimate with earth, even more frequent, deeper, getting yourself dirty, going into waters, all of those things, maybe even going through some of the fears. If you're afraid of bugs, if you're afraid of worms, or if you're afraid of dark water, all of those things, like getting into it, getting yourself and expanding yourself psychologically through that state. And then another, also maybe very obvious advice, but again, how often do you do it, is listen to your children, listen to the children outside. They will be guiding us in many ways, and they may not exactly tell you, mom, dad, this is what you need to do, or like auntie, etc., right? But listen to the emotions, listen to where they trigger you, because that would be your, pointer at where you are healing right now, um, where you are limited, all of those things. Pay attention to your children. They will be giving you insights if you're open, again, if you're open to receive them. So those would be my advice for August, or for this upcoming month. And what I feel that I want to do, even for myself and for us who are finding ourselves in this kind of uncomfortable place, right? It's very uncomfortable because it's a big question mark, like, where are we going? It's hard to surrender to it because there's a lot of responsibilities that we still have to keep up. There's people that are dependent on us, and so we can't just go oblivious, right? So it's very difficult. But what I'm being called to do is to create a little bit of like a field, a quantum field, where we can attune our mind to the state of possibility through the next month. How this will play out is that I will be sharing shorter videos on here, I think probably like, what is it called, like shorts, and also on my Instagram, the New Earth Guide, sharing some videos where we will be focusing on some specific things where we want to train our mind to be that way. So it's some reminders that we want to attune ourselves to, we want to bring back to that truth, to that clear knowingness. And most likely, many of those things that I will be sharing with you, well, first of all, they will not be necessarily new to you. But again, it's not about you receiving new information. It's about you grounding it into your experience. And so we will be coming together, those of us who feel that this, okay, I'm bridging my lives, I'm bridging the life of responsibility and the life of dream. I am stepping even fuller into my purpose, into my mission. How can I create the state where the resources are flowing and I'm in this kind of resourceful place where I am in my genius? That's where the kind of like what group I'm calling in, those people who are interested in that. And what do you need to do? I think maybe follow me if you want to receive those videos, maybe get notifications, not necessarily. But basically, it's going to be on my channel here and on Instagram quite frequently. And so I hope we'll see what this month will show. And I think that's it for now. The next video will be on our life mission and life purpose, and let me know if there's any other topics that really interest you. We may discuss and get into some philosophical observations. Much love. Until next time.